Hello there. Oh my god. Hello there. Today I'm going to be making a video on my favorite topic, dreams. Not the kind like aspirations, but the kind when you go to sleep at night and you turn your little noggin off. I'm holding a piece of, this is either angelite or celestite, but it's supposed to help with dream recollection, so I'm going to hold this while I'm standing here. My first topic with this video I want to touch on is, what do I think dreams are? I've been able to remember my dreams since as long as I can remember memory. This has been a tough one for me, you know. When I was younger, I didn't really believe in anything weird. I just thought that everything, like, was what it was, and that was just our brain. I didn't really, like, think about it. It took me many years. Probably, I didn't start really thinking about what the fuck dreams were till I started having some weird experiences when I was around 20 years old. And what happened to me was I actually astral projected, but I didn't know what it was. I was just so fucking tired that I passed the fuck out on my couch. And then I sat up, but I heard myself, like my own body, snoring. But like this much behind me. So it's like my head lifted forward, but I heard me snoring. So I was just fucking scared. I was terrified. I was just like, what the fuck? That's me behind me. Fuck. What's going on? How did I leave my body? So during this little short astral projection trip that I had, I decided to float to my ceiling. I don't know why. I started like floating, and I was kind of just like, oh, here I go. So I was like on my ceiling, and I was like touching it, and I was like, whoa, this is the spackle. And it, you know, it just felt like what spackle feels like. Everything looked the way my living room looked. It didn't look, it was very real. It was unlike anything I ever really experienced before. I've had lucid dreams. As I started to delve more into my spiritual studies that I do, and that's just on my own, reading books, watching videos, reading articles, you know, looking up things, I started to really think about what is dreams? If this is all like, you know, something that's just made up by our own subconscious, it's just way too elaborate. If that is the case, because you never know, nobody really knows. We're some architects, okay? We're some fucking geniuses. Who really knows exactly what dreams are? But a theory of mine is each of us are like dimensions stacked onto each other. And that we have the human dimension that we see our physical reality, and then we have like the lower dimensions and the higher dimensions. And I think that we are able to visit alternate versions of ourselves or different planes of existence that our own selves are in. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't really have like a full explanation, but I do think that like there are other realms, and especially when you can astral project or do lucid dreaming. I know astral projection is a real thing. Why do some people not remember their dreams? I think it has to do with your tie to other realms. You know what, I always bring astrology into everything, but what I've noticed, because I look at everybody's astrological birth charts, is that a lot of people with Gemini moons, and definitely Aries moon, everybody I know with an Aries moon for some reason like doesn't remember their dreams. When it comes to astrology, basically your moon sign is your ability, your subconscious thoughts, your emotions. So I think that people that have those kind of placements, maybe they just rationalize things on the spot, as opposed to somebody like me. I need to delve into my subconscious, delve into the higher and lower versions of myself, what I think it is. And there's a lot of symbolism in dreams. So I think my mind likes to talk to me in weird, abstract ways, and I think some people's minds are just more direct, so maybe they don't have the need to dream because they can just figure shit out like that. I think because I'm an emotional person, I have a lot of emotions, and they might cloud my judgment at times. So I like to really reflect upon my dreams and look up the symbolism, and then figure out what they mean when I wake up every morning, because for me, that's how I learn. And you know what, I've had a lot of dreams that have tried to warn me about things, and I didn't take the warning because I thought I knew better, and I thought maybe I just misinterpreted the dream. Dreams are extremely important. If you do remember your dreams, they're so important for helping you in real life situations. As you guys probably know, watching my other videos, you know, I've dated not the best people. Manipulators, sociopaths, psychopaths, drug addicts, you name it. I'm not gonna, insult these people, but during every single time I've dated any of these people, I've actually had really similar dreams. And these dreams included a lot of symbolism that I looked up, and they all meant the same thing. I had dreams where I was being chased by an alligator right down the street over there, or just like big animals were chasing me. When I was dating the kid that was cheating on me all the time, I would have these crazy dreams where I'd have to kill things that were normally known as innocent. Like, I'd have little children breaking into my house and beating the shit out of me, so I'd like take a vase and break it on their head and beat the fuck out of these kids, because they'd kill me if I didn't. Or I had another one where I was in my bathroom, and I had this remote in my hand, and it had like a note on it, and it said to like press this button. And I was just in my bathroom, I didn't really know what was going on, so I pressed the button. It made a meow noise, and all of a sudden this huge fucking black dog, like the biggest dog I've ever seen, comes like galloping up the stairs, and it's coming straight for me. And then I look at the remote, and like there's a button like that I can use to attack, so I have to press it because this huge fucking dog is gonna kill me, and I don't want to kill a dog. I love dogs, okay? I don't want to kill children either, but yeah, I pressed the button and it died. So I kept having these dreams where, like I said, innocent things are trying to kill me, and I didn't understand it at the time because I wasn't into dreams like I am now. But it's symbolism for literally somebody that seems innocent that is out to hurt me. Whether it's physical or emotional, it was all there. And unconsciously in my mind at the time, I really didn't suspect anything wrong with him. I didn't know. I had no idea. I thought he was faithful and kind, but I'd wake up after having these nightmares with I would be shaking. I'd have anxiety, and I would never understand why. I felt this heavy feeling in my chest all the time, and I'd keep thinking about it, and I could never get an answer. But the answers were right there in my dreams. I didn't understand it. So, if you have dreams where you, just look up what they mean. But I know snakes, alligators, foxes. My last ex, I had dreams, a lot of dreams about foxes. I saw a fox cross the road one day when I was coming home from his house. I looked it up, and everything would always just say, don't trust these people, don't trust these people. And I'd always be like, but I trust them. They really are a good person. This dream probably just means something else. And you know what? Every single one of those dreams that I've had have always come true. I was with an ex one time, and he was living at a place he wasn't supposed to be, and I had this dream where these creepy cop pigs came on a cherry picker, and they came up and stared at us through the window and shined their light at us, and nobody said anything, and it was quiet and really creepy. But a week later, he got caught by security, and he had to leave. So I always have a lot of warnings, and I think that you should pay a lot of attention to the stuff that happens in your dreams. So that brings me to my next topic, how to remember your dreams. Honestly, talking about them, writing them down, always write them down. I will show you guys. I have a note on my fucking iPhone, and it just, ignore my nails, they look like crap. It just keeps going. Okay? I write them down every single day, and I'll talk about them sometimes. Sometimes I'll just make my stories on Instagram or Snapchat about it because I just think they're weird, and I like sharing them. It's always been my favorite thing. Anybody that's friends with me knows I'll talk about dreams literally all fucking day. The more you write them down, though, and the more you consciously try to meditate before you sleep or anything like that, even just try to connect yourself spiritually in any kind of way to the earth, even just being outside more and connect yourself to the earth. I'm actually on my way to work right now. I'm fucking late, as usual. But I just wanted to add a few more things. There's a lot of common dreams that people do have. And I think that's a pretty strange thing, why is it that a lot of people dream of their teeth falling out, That's a really random fucking thing. Why is it that so many people dream of being chased? Where in your brain did it decide to program, hey, you're feeling this way, we're gonna make your teeth fall out? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? There's just no real connection. You can say, oh, this is why, but why is it that all of us dream of the same thing? I think there's a collective consciousness that happened, or something that all of us, we all pass along these human fears that we don't even realize subconsciously. Why are we all scared of this or that? It just seems to me that we all carry things that we don't even realize from previous lives, maybe previous generations, maybe just previous streams of fucking consciousness. You know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to say is that everything, it's not as random as it seems. there's an order to things. Yes, when you are having dreams, you have to think about, why do these symbols mean this? Why does a fox mean you can't trust somebody? Why does your teeth falling out mean this? Why? Because, you know, there really is no answer. No one really knows. So it's up to you to really think about what that means. What does it mean to subconsciously think of symbols that we don't even think of in our daily lives? You know, I don't think to myself, a fox I can't trust. You know, I've never thought that in my life, but my dream seems to know. My dream seems to know that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to ask people. Where did this come from? Where? Simple. The last thing I want to touch on, I'll just talk about some of my favorite dreams, some of my not so favorite dreams. I mean, I could really go on for hours about this, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. Maybe I'll show you guys some of the paintings I have and some of the weird dreams I've had too. Okay, so this painting, it's not exactly how the dream was. I had this dream, I don't remember too much about it, but I know that, like, I couldn't breathe, and I had metal spiky balls inside of all my organs, and it's like I could see inside of my body, and I could see all of my organs, and I knew that I was dying. This is a dream I had when I was 5 years old. I changed the colors of the background. These cartoon animals stole my dad and brought him under the sewer. And me and my sister were running after them, and we were like the only human thing, and it was like a cartoon world. And we get under the sewer like some Ninja Turtle shit, and there's like a room, and they're all huddled together like this, and my dad's there. And I was like, give me back the dad! And this fucking giraffe here was the fucking leader. He was an asshole. This eagle with the tie is actually from a different dream. I had this dream I was swimming underwater, and me and this eagle were trying to grab this golden egg, and he was wearing a tuxedo, just like that. I don't really know why. This one, I changed it a little bit. So this was from that dream I had with the big black dog, but instead of a big black dog, it was a rabbit that I drew. And back here, we have some people being abducted. So, at the end of, you know, I had to kill the dog with the remote. I ended up on this planet. This planet over here. It was a big orange planet. There's all these planets, and it was weird. And I remember there was this alien. He was like, ha ha ha, I was in charge of it all. And he basically planned the whole thing because he's an asshole. This dream I had when I was also dating my crazy ex, and I felt like I couldn't communicate anything to anybody because I was being gaslighted all the time, so nobody would actually listen to what I had to say. So I was choking on a rope. In the dream, it actually started off as a mozzarella stick. And I kept pulling it, and it turned into a rope. And eventually I got to the end, and I couldn't pull it any harder because it felt, and I saw it inside of myself, that it was attached to my heart. So if I pulled it any harder, my heart would have ripped out of my body. I think that means a lot. And then I went in the bathroom. Oh no, I went outside of my room to tell my dad that I was choking and dying, and he said I was fine. Everybody told me I was fine. They all ignored me. Went into the bathroom to look for something to cut it off, and I found a white snake, actually a bunch of them, under the counter. So that was a really bad dream. This dream I also had when I was with the same person. A lot of nightmares. This one was really terrifying. So I went into this scary mansion. I was playing a video game. It started off with I was playing the game. Then I was in the game. So it was like a video game, the way, like, when you die, you respawn. So first, these guys, I go down the hallway. These huge things, they open their mouth and they swallow me whole. So I die. I respawn. I go upstairs. I go into this little girl's room, and there's like thousands of dolls, and they all turn and stare at me at the same time. I look out the window. There's a Donkey Kong in the window of the house next door, staring at me through both windows, and it was terrifying. So I had a heart attack. I died. I respawned. I go to the backyard like some Luigi's Mansion shit, and these two fucking guys with the white jackets, top hats, and the creepy plague doctor masks with an axe in each hand. The scythe. I'm sorry, not an axe. One of the weirdest dreams I've had, it's so difficult to explain because even when I look back on it, I can't really perceive it exactly the same because the state of mind that I was in when I was dreaming, like, wasn't like reality. I don't think time was linear. I think I'm pretty sure I was able to experience, like, more than the fourth or third dimension. It was like a fifth dimensional type of thing. It was like I was everywhere at the same time, but I could feel all of it. So I was at this house, like a barn, and I was on the deck, I went outside and there's like farm animals, and then I look up and there's me like across the street, like in a window, and then there was me like across the street, and there was me over there petting like I don't know, some animal, like a cow or something, and then there was just a bunch of me, but I felt like I was all of them at once, not just looking at them. And then the me that was on the deck, this huge this huge chick, like the size of a human, like a little yellow chick, but like huge. Oh, this is from a dream, I'll explain that one. Just gets in my face and goes and woke me up, and I woke up laughing because I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, earlier in that dream, I forgot to explain, it was weird. Everything felt heavy also, like in this dream. Everything felt heavy and weird. It just didn't feel normal. So I remember getting up to go like make food, and I would try to turn on the stove, and like I would just turn on one, but like all of them would turn on. So if it felt weird, it felt like everything. I felt like I was seeing like 4 of everything, like quadruple vision. It just wasn't making any sense. It was a weird dream. So everything felt like that. Which reminds me, when I was a little kid, I used to wake up. Maybe this was some kind of astral projection, actually. I would sit up, and I couldn't, like, properly see. And it was that weird feeling again, where there was, like, quadruple vision. And, and everything felt so heavy. And I remember being... This would happen to me all the time when I was a kid. And I would be like, I need to get up. But I can't see anything. Like, and I feel weird. And I would struggle for like a few minutes to try to get up, and then I would just go back to sleep. That was really weird. I don't know. Has this ever happened to anybody else? Maybe not. Another weird thing that's happened to me is I've had like dreams where I've met people before I've met them, and I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of these things happened when I was younger, so it's confusing. This is going to be a really weird story. You might think I'm fucking wacky after this, but I remember it. So, for kindergarten, there was 2 teachers. So there was Mrs. Davidson, the PM teacher, and Mrs. Kelly, the AM teacher. And Mrs. Kelly has, like, gray hair, and she's old. And then Mrs. Davidson has, like, brown hair. It's, like, curly. She's a little bit younger. So I remembered, I don't understand, to this day I really don't get it. But I remember meeting them, like, before our first day of kindergarten, like, maybe, like, an orientation, and Mrs. Davidson looked like Mrs. Kelly, but she had blonde hair, and then Mrs. Kelly was Mrs. Davidson, except instead of having curly brown hair, her hair was, like, this long ice cream cone thing. And it sounds so stupid when I'm talking about this. I feel mentally insane. But I remember it so vividly. So the actual first day of kindergarten comes around, and I already know the name of my teacher because I read it on like a card, like, this is your teacher. So I'm expecting to get the teacher who I thought was Mrs. Kelly with the swirly brown fucking ice cream cone hair. So I got into class, and then it's the other lady. Well, I have it backwards. I thought it was going to... Basically, like, the names are switched, and the hairstyles are different. So I thought that this lady was going to have swirly ice cream hair and be the other lady. And it ends up being the old lady, except her hair's gray and not blonde. And I was confused, and I remember asking somebody, like, what happened to her, like, swirly hair? And they just looked at me like I was fucking crazy. And I think I had a dream that I met these people before I met these people. They say that you can't dream about people that you've never met before. 1. Who's they? Who said this? 2. How do you know all of the people I've seen in my lifetime? How do you know the people I see in my dreams? Can you be inside of my dreams to know? Simple. That's not a proven fact. How do we know that dreams are just in the mind? You could be meeting real versions of people out there. Who knows, you know? So the other astral projection time that I had, I don't remember leaving my body, but I know it was that and not a lucid dream because there really was no plot line to it. I just remember consciously, like, realizing I'm in a house, right? Everything is very blue lit. It looks like the movie Insidious, how they describe astral projection. Everything looks very blue and dim. These little girls run out of the room. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely awake. Is this limbo? Did I die? Am I in hell right now? And I was confused. So I'm touching everything. I remember the picture. It was like George Washington, him crossing over the Delaware River. It was like a big painting. I remember feeling it. I walk out. I follow these little girls. The curtains are all down. The blinds are all down. But you see like light peeking through it. So it looks like it's the middle of the day, but all the blinds are down. So it looks really dreary in there. Very blue. And I walk down the hallway, and there's just a man watching TV, but it's like just white flashes, and you just see his like legs propped up on a cushion, and he's just sitting there, and I see him from behind, so I don't see his face, but he's just sitting there watching TV, and I felt like I was in another realm, just watching a random person. I felt like I accidentally like that I astral projected. I felt like I astral projected and like just ended up in somebody's house. It's now nighttime, but I just keep remembering things I wanted to add to this video. One of my favorite dreams that I've had, that I go back to all the time. It's this house. And then there's it's like in a field, like a prairie. Then there's a little log cabin. You go a little bit further. I like this log cabin. I've only been there a few times. I usually just kind of like walk past it. The house has a lot of like stairs, like fire escapes, secret rooms. It's interesting. I've been there quite a few times, but the main reason I go there isn't for the house or the log cabin. It's when you go further. There's the woods. If you've ever seen Harry Potter, you know the Forbidden Forest. It's like a line, like this is the not forest. This is the forest. So there's a forest, and on a lot of these dreams, the first one I had, I went into the woods, and I reached a kind of tall bushes, and there's a lot of trees in the way, but there's a river, and I went through all the trees. It was hard, you know, there's a lot of vines, and I crossed the river, which was also kind of difficult. I mean, all my shit got wet, so, but I don't know, I felt like it would be worth it for some reason, so I did. And I just kept traveling, and eventually I found this beautiful pool. It was a pond. It was like in the middle of the forest. It was like the most beautiful place I've ever been. Everything was like sparkly. And I go in the water. There's like, was there mermaids there? I'm pretty sure there were mermaids in there. And they were like fish at the bottom. Everything would be like, I don't know, everything was just so happy. I had this other beautiful dream. I remember it so vividly. It was just a lake, and there was like a little dock, and I was just sitting on like the little grassy edge with somebody. It was so peaceful. I wish I could go back there. I always think about that place. Sometimes I'll see pictures of places and I'm like, wow, that kind of looks like a place in my dreams. Sometimes I'll just go places I've never been, people's houses, garages, and I'll just be like, I feel like I've been here before. I've been in so many places in my dreams, and I remember so many of them. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing to think about. All these memories that aren't real. I mean, what is real? It felt real to me. I think it's real. I've been chased by a fucking bear. Maybe not in this reality, but let me tell you, that shit was terrifying. I've driven off of a bridge many times. That felt very real. It's just weird how real these things feel, to the point that I can still remember them. They're vivid memories to me. Whether or not they happen in this reality, I could still consider all of my dreams to be my memories. And it makes me happy to look back on all of them, including all the really terrifying nightmares I've had. Because those are fucking scary. I've watched people I love get sliced in half, and it was really vivid, and to the point that I had to call the cops in my dream, like, as if it, as if it was real, and I couldn't even, like, dial the fucking numbers because my hands were shaking. It's terrible. I've had dreams that I can't stop thinking about for the rest of the day. They'll ruin my day. I've watched people I love being squished to death, and you will see their guts. Things feel too real. I've been on derailed roller coasters. That sucked. I've been the roller coaster conductor, and for some reason, I don't know why, I purposely pressed a button so that the ride would be derailed, and I watched a bunch of people falling and dying in slow motion, and I was like happy. I don't know why, because I'm not a mean person. I would never wish to kill people. But in my dream, for some reason, I have a lot of dreams in my old house that I grew up in basically all of my life until 4 years ago. And every time somebody tries to move into my old house, I fucking try to kill them. I blow them up with TNT, and I laugh about it. I don't want anybody moving into my old house. Until recently, I guess I accepted it. And there was a guy that moved in, and he was cool, and he showed me around how he redid the whole house, and I was like, cool, man. And then the real owner of the house contacted me recently, like a week after I had that dream. Maybe not even a full week after. And said that I had some documents, some mail left at the house, but it was just weird that, this happened a week after I had that dream. Very strange. I had this one dream that my mom lived in this apartment, and there was like books everywhere, just piles of books. And this is where it's weird, because I've had a few dreams like this, and they're all similar, where in the dream I say, I'm gonna astral project. And then I leave my body in the dream, and I'm like this floating, I'm not looking at myself, I don't know what I look like, but I'm just flying forward, like gliding. Everything feels like it's going through a wind tunnel, but it's so real, and in my dream I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing it, I'm astral projecting right now, and it's like, I feel like I really was. Felt like I left the dream, and then I was like, I'm really here now. And this happened a few times, and it's like I was 2 feet off the ground. Just like a floating thing, like flying forward, like gliding forward. I don't know how to describe it. It was like it made like a noise, like I'm going through like a wind tunnel. Yeah, weird stuff. Really weird stuff. I'm gonna end this video now and say these are just some of my dreams, some of my thoughts. I can literally make hours worth of videos about the dreams I've had. I could talk about it for hours. I literally do. So I hope you guys have a great fucking day, and I'll be making more videos soon. Send me your questions. I'll probably be making a Q&A video. I have a few topics I want to talk about, and they make me a little nervous, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you guys have a great freaking day, and don't forget to keep learning. And if anybody tells you that you're thinking too much, just remind yourself, maybe they're just not thinking enough. Peace.